The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every false kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I have a close friend of mine. I'll keep her anonymous. I'll change her name to Katie. I'll just refer to her as Katie. And from all appearances, Katie is a 30-something-year-old mother of 4 boys, but she's also a mystic. What I mean by that is that for whatever reason, God chooses to reveal things to her in some very powerful ways. Now, she doesn't tell this to anybody. There's very few people that I think know about this because she doesn't want everybody to think that she's crazy. But she definitely isn't crazy. Some people throughout the history of the church have had such gifts given to them. It's a recorded phenomenon. I think of these gifts. I think they're available to us all. We're just not all open to being receptive to these sorts of things. To that sort of relationship with God. Some saints, for example, like St. John of Capistrano or St. Thomas Aquinas, they were seen levitating off the ground, above the ground during some intense periods of prayer. Things like that are known to happen among some of the saints. Some saints, like Catherine of Assisi and St. Francis of Assisi, or Catherine of Siena and St. Francis of Assisi, they have borne what is called the stigmata, the wounds of Christ from his crucifixion mysteriously, unexplainably appear in their hands and their side. Some saints, like St. John Vianney, had the ability to read a person's soul, they were able to sense if someone had, for example, a religious vocation, or they were called to be a priest, or if someone had an unconfessed sin on their conscience that was weighing them down, he would be able to tell. And some people throughout the history of the church have been able to actually see the saints. St. Padre Pio is one saint. He famously could see his guardian angels. And my friend, Katie, is one of those people. She actually sees saints. But not all the time. She only sees them from time to time. They sort of come out of her vision. But Katie says that they are around us all the time. They're in heaven interceding for us, but they're also with us here on earth. Katie is one of the regulars on my team when I direct high school retreats that teens encounter Christ, or tech retreats, for high school and college-age students, actually. And on a tech retreat, students are divided up into groups of 5 or 6, and they're assigned as a group to 2 adult leaders. And these leaders, they give talks throughout the course of the weekend. They also facilitate some discussion at their individual tables that we all kind of have in the conference room where the talks are given. And this is what Katie told me about the tech that we did together last June. When my brother John, my youngest brother John, was leading a group discussion. He was the head of a group of 5 or 6 students. He was aiding them along, spurring the conversation. And Katie looked over at my brother, and she saw that St. Joseph was standing behind him. My brother is a young father. It's a fitting saint. St. Anne, the mother of Mary, was with my very close friend Jenny, who was pregnant with her first child at the time, last June. There's a special meal that we have during the Teens Encounter Christ retreat called the agape meal. Agape is the Greek word for unconditional love. And St. Therese, who said that her vocation was to love, she was present at the agape meal. When my best friend Spencer was giving his talk, Katie saw St. Michael standing behind him with his hands on his shoulders, helping him through a very emotionally difficult portion of his talk. And Katie noted that Michael is the most impressive of all the saints when it comes to his size and to his power. And when Spencer would direct his words to a certain student or a certain person in the room, Michael would send another angel to attend to that person. And he essentially, Spencer's words had power. And as the leader of the retreat, he had real authority. He essentially had angels at his command. And Katie said that as I gave my talk, she saw with me a priest. She didn't know who this priest was, but she understood that this priest was the pastor of a country parish and that he was specifically assigned to me to help me in my priesthood and as a pastor, and especially at the moment of my death. So the saints are all around us all the time. The whole heavenly host is with us here right now. All the angels, all the saints, as we celebrate the Mass. And they're there for us. They are there at our request, at our command to intercede for us, to minister to us, to help us. Your faith has power. Your words, your prayer has power. Your prayer is powerful enough to call the mercy of God down from heaven to earth. So ask the saints on a daily basis to protect you, to protect your family, to be with your children or your grandchildren, to walk with you in this life in the hopes of making it to the next life, where one day we hope that we'll be numbered among all the saints.